My name is Winnie Sengwer. I have a third name, Jepto, but I like Winnie Sengwer because Sengwer identifies with who I am as an individual. I come from the Sengwer Indigenous Community, who are forest people, and their way of life is in the forest. We are hunter-gatherers, and we do a lot of conservation in the forest. The Sengwer people way of life is in the forest, and that's why I call myself the forest girl. Why? Because I associate more and resonate with the environment, the forest, the bees and honey and all these other things. As a young woman and an environmental enthusiast, someone who's very interested in issues biodiversity conservation and trying to ensure that we have less effects of climate change, especially to women and girls. Now let's look at my community, the hunter-gatherers, the people of the forest. What happens to them? We all know and we are all alive to the fact that indigenous people live in the forest and their area conserves 80% of the world's remaining biodiversity. What does that mean to us as women? We have a role to play to ensure that we are taking care of this environment so that we conserve this biodiversity. Being a woman, I want to highlight the challenges that women experience as conservationists, as caregivers, and as custodians of traditional knowledge. We come from a very conservative and cultural community where women are not expected to be speaking so much. Women are not expected to take leadership roles. Women are expected to stay in the kitchen, collect firewood, collect water, and cook for the family. Where does this place men? Men are expected to make decisions. Women have been left out. But we all know that when you make decisions for me, you leave me out. So that is what was happening in the Sengwer community. What have I done as a woman? What have I done as an empowered young girl for my community? I want to say that I may have moved away from home. I have experienced both being in the rural area and being in the urban area. So I have experiences of both places. So this gives me an opportunity to collect knowledge from these other places and take it back home. What I have done personally as a young girl is take the knowledge that I've collected out here back home. My biggest motivation came from just looking at all the violations that are happening to the Sengwer. And there was need for someone to be the voice and someone to step up and to speak, to be like a spokesperson and a representative of the community. My next is the fact that I am a hunter-gatherer. I am indigenous. I have to stay true to my indigeneity. So I'm like, if I must speak on matters conservation, on matters conserving biodiversity, on how to challenge, on how to do climate justice, I had to step up. And when a young woman has been empowered and a young woman is at the front line, she gets some little respect. And with this little respect, you can be a piece of influence here and there. We want to ensure that nothing about us without us has been ticked. Like if this conversation is about funds for climate change, indigenous people are on that table. So how do we do this? Ensuring that this very strong network in the grassroots is women-led and they have no outside influence, so that if decision is being made in the women network, it's women saying this and that and that. Also creating partnerships with other people, not just my community, but other partners that see the best in us. Because we have people who are non-indigenous, but take conservation very seriously. So when women go out there in these global conversations, they are taking their knowledge there for those people who are not really associated with indigenous people, to get to know how do indigenous people do this? How do we say indigenous people are conserving 80% of the world's biodiversity? What is this thing that you do in your community? What are the trees that you plant? If you say you have early warning signs, what are these signs? How do we relate to them? We also have women now asking if they can be even nominated for elective positions, so that if I'm to go and be your woman rep or someone in an influential position, I can speak for you for your behalf, on your behalf, and bring your issues on board. Hello guys, my name is Sengwer Winnie. Let's break the bias.